Yo, what's going on, buddy? This is Don't Talk Sports. My name is Dylan. In today's video, what I want to do is I want to talk about the Team USA, the 2024 Olympics with the men's basketball team. We're going to be discussing, is this, because some people are talking about it, is this one of the best USA men's basketball Olympic teams that we've ever seen? Because obviously they're being compared to the 1992 Dream Team. There has been some debate about the 2012 team whenever they went to London and won gold there. Every team kind of had its own little nickname. Like I said, 1992 had the Dream Team. This year, 2024, they like to call themselves the Avengers because the past couple years with the FIBA World Cup, the teams have not been looking good. This year, they went out and said, okay, Steph Curry, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, they got the dogs in and they went for gold and they said, we are not leaving here without it. So ultimately, kind of what I wanted to do is, like I said, talk about, is this one of the greatest teams we've ever seen assembled in the Olympics men's basketball history, and also discuss, just like I said, them winning the gold medal, because they had to battle beating Serbia to get to the gold medal game and then beating France to actually win the gold medal. They had to go through a lot of shit. LeBron, Steph, like I said, KD, Joel Embiid, Booker, these guys showed up in big ways in this gold medal run. Now, as always, we're going to be going through some articles, some stats, some web pages, different things that are going to be up on screen. So if you want to go check out anything for yourself that's going to be on screen, I'll have links to it all down in the description below, so feel free to do so. But without further ado, I'm going to stop rambling and we're going to get straight into this. So if you're going to enjoy it, as always, make sure you're going to drop a like on today's video. Be very much appreciated if you do so. But without further ado, let's get into it. Now, starting off, we got to talk about the Team USA versus France game. This was, from what people are saying, and I will agree with this was one of the best basketball, just pure basketball games I've ever watched. I'm not going to say the best. I'm going to say it's one of, because this game was electric from the starting tip all the way to the final buzzer. Team USA and France both had their highs, their lows. France gave it everything they had. Wembanyama was putting his heart on the court. Like I already said with LeBron and Steph, these guys were doing everything they could, but ultimately it came down to the very end of the game where Stephen Curry put his heart and soul into this game, and he went to a traditional Steph Curry mode and just started pump faking, guys flying by him, hitting threes in their faces, and then the very last shot, it was memorizing. I can't put it on screen because of copyright issues, but he crossed the dude over, two guys in his face, hoisted up a three in traditional Steph Curry fashion, and it's a shame we didn't have Mike Green on the call, because he would have hollered out the biggest bang in the world. Now let's discuss a couple of things with what could make this team, in a way, be the best team ever to play in the Olympics. Now I'm going to say straight up in front and say right now, I still think the 1992 Dream Team was the best team ever, and I'll kind of explain as we go. I will say though, this team right here, the 2024, I guess they're going to be called the Avengers team, is probably going to go down as the second greatest team, possibly could be the second greatest team we've ever seen. As you can see from USABasketball.com, the Olympics website, we have all the games they played throughout the whole entire thing. We're not going to talk about like all the games that they played against in like the expedition games. We're not really going to care about these like earlier on, because these were more just like warm-up games. If they lost them, it didn't matter. But even though, like I said, they didn't truly matter, we're still going to talk about a little bit. As we can see, they beat Canada, they beat Australia, Serbia earlier on. They beat the shit out of them, and in that moment we were like, okay, this team is ready to go. They just beat the hell out of Jokic's team. They are set to go for the World Cup or go for the gold. And then they had a close one against South Sudan. They had Germany. Things were looking a little bit iffy, but then they got into the actual group play. They got into like the whole thing, and they got Serbia, then they had South Sudan, then they had Puerto Rico. Win, win, win. Big time wins. Not no 1 point or 5 point or even a 10-point win. They were beating these teams up. 16-point win, 17-point win, 19-point win. They were putting the hurt on them. And I'm sure as every USA fan probably was thinking, myself included, I was like, oh my God, this team is so good. Now I realize they were in a kind of a weaker group, you could say, like with Serbia, South Sudan, Puerto Rico. Serbia was the only team I think we were really fearing. Don't get me wrong, South Sudan was good. They played us close in the exhibition game. Puerto Rico was nothing really to look at. I think a lot of people were more worried about teams like Canada, obviously Germany. You could look at other teams in the whole group. Australia was looking pretty good. And then obviously France, because they made it the whole way to the gold medal game. They finished with silver. But when you look at what Team USA was doing, they were running away with it. And at this moment, even after when they beat Brazil 122 to 87, I was like, this team is going to do something scary. They are going to pummel teams. They're got the offense, but they're putting up points, and they're blowing teams out, and they have the defense to shut teams up. I'm pretty sure it wasn't just myself that was looking there and watching these games and be like, oh my God, this team is so damn good. They could be better than the Dream Team. Like, there was a moment in there where it's like, I was thinking it, like, could this team actually fucking be better than Dream Team? But then they ran to a brick wall with Serbia. I'll click the box score so we can kind of go over. This was a close ass game. I'm telling you right now, if we did not have Stephen Curry on this roster, like say we had some other player, whoever it may be, obviously a lot of players in the NBA, they're good players, but if we had anybody besides Steph Curry, we weren't winning this game. Don't get me wrong, LeBron was Captain America, Joel Embiid was showing up in some big spots, he was getting a little mid-range jumpers in there, putting in work, some layups, some dunks. He was putting in work. Drew Holiday, lockdown defense. Devin Booker was getting to his spots, getting a few points in there. But I think it was more the fact that we were down, and I mean down. Second quarter, we were down by like 15, 17 points. We started to get back up there toward 10 points, and then Serbia brought it back up. Then it was like in the third quarter, I think we went down by like 17, 18 points with like 30 seconds to go in the third quarter. I immediately at that moment, not gonna lie, I walked off. I was like, fuck this. We are not winning this game. Get ready for bronze medal, I guess. And I was done. I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Came back about 2 minutes later, and I was like, okay, fourth quarter, let's see what we can do. They got a little momentum going. Things were getting rolling. And you can kind of see here with the fourth quarter, the way it kind of went. It wasn't like we just went on like a 20-0 run. It was slowly chip away. We slowly chip. The Serbia was keeping a rhythm going, but it got to here where we were tied 84-84. Then they went back to 84-86. But it was like in the just grandest of fashion. Fucking Steph Curry showed up. Then we got some rebounds. LeBron started going Captain America mode. And then Steph Curry again got the ball, went down the court. And I think once it got to like 91-86, I think we had an idea of like, okay, I think we got this one in the bag, but we're not going to be too confident. It was just one of those games where it was like, you couldn't sit down. I know I might be rambling, but I'm just telling you, these last like 2 minutes, even though the score was 91-86, Serbia was not going away. And I'm going to go ahead and give flowers to a player that absolutely deserves it. Bogdan Bogdanovic. This dude, he was going off. He was hitting the Carmelo Anthony sign the entire time. He was gloating in front of Carmelo Anthony. He was going after Melo. He was basically trying to tell the whole USA roster, like, I am taking you fuckers down. It was like everything for Serbia was going right in this game. It's just something happened in the fourth quarter where I think they said they went like 0-8, 0-9 on three-point attempts in the fourth quarter. That's kind of when they really lost this game. If they would have hit a three-pointer, another three-pointer, a third three-pointer in that fourth quarter, they probably could have won this game. It's, I think, just in that fourth quarter, that spark, that fire they had going for them, it slowly went out and they just couldn't get it lit back up. Now, when it comes to Team USA, the 2024 team, how do they kind of compare to the other team? One way you kind of can compare the teams, stats is the most important. It's one of the most important things you can look at. Obviously, you can watch the teams play, and I will say the 1992 team is still on, like, film-wise, watching them play. They are just like out of this world whenever it comes to just watching them just beat up opponents. But when it comes to numbers, one thing you can look at, look down here. The way we can go at it, total points for the way you scored versus like in the games, and then how many points did you allow your opponents to get. As you can see here from basketballreference.com, the 1992 Dream Team, go to their stats. They played a total of 8 games in their, like I guess, Olympic season. As you can see up here in the team opponent stats, they scored a total of 938 points, and their opponents got 588 points across an 8-game period. So let's kind of compare that. The Team USA team for this year, they played a total of 6 games. Obviously, the 3 group play games, and then they had to play a quarterfinal, a game to get to the group, get to the gold medal game, and then the gold medal game. So let's take these total points. They got 105 points across the 6 games. Let's just buff it up to the 8 games. So let's say they scored about 800 points. Let's say about 840 points, I think is quick math right there. And then with the opponents, 86 points a game, let's buff that, like I said, times it by 8. Let's say about 640, I think is what we're at. So like 850, 840 points, and then like 640 points is kind of what we're looking at for how many they got versus how many their opponents got. I want you to take back a look and get what we said with the 1992 team. 938 points, 588 points. The Dream Team got them beat. And we're going to take a second and look at some of the other teams. Like I said, 2008 national team is one other team that everybody said was pretty good. 850 points, 627 points. Pretty much the same amount of points for team points. Opponents' points a little bit down than what they got. Let's look at 2012, the team that everybody says could have compared to the 92 Dream Team. They could compare. Like I said, team points, it's up there. The opponent points, a little bit more than what you usually expect. The thing is, I think with why the Dream Team was so good, they played in an era where defense was capital of the whole league. Like, it was all about defense, and if you could score, you were God. In today's game, it was more of, if you can score, cool, you should be able to do that. If you can score and play defense, oh, you're going to go places. But I'm just going to say this whenever it comes to this Dream Team. Obviously, like I said, if you look at these rosters of nowadays, you got a lot of great players. Hall of Famer, Steph Curry, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, I would say probably Anthony Davis is going to be a Hall of Famer. Jason Tatum has a chance to be a Hall of Famer. Joel Embiid has a chance. Devin Booker, they got chances to be Hall of Famers. Drew Holiday, now he's a 2-time champion, Olympic gold medalist, I think twice. He's got a good shot to be a Hall of Famer. I think when you compare those rosters to what they had in 2012, it stacks up pretty well. I mean, you have a couple of the same players. You got Anthony Davis, you got LeBron James on there, you got Kevin Durant on there, but you had a couple other really good players. Kobe Bryant was on there, rest in peace. You had Chris Paul when he was still in his prime. Carmelo Anthony is probably one of the best Olympic gold medal winner in men's basketball for the Olympics. Russell Westbrook in his prime, Kevin Love in his prime. Like, these dudes, like, people forget about these guys. They were good as hell back then. And hell, even Andre Iguodala, this dude was a stud. But I think the thing that's going to come down to this is the Dream Team was just so stacked. Charles Barkley, Clyde Drexler, David Robinson, John Stockton, Karl Malone, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson. You can't forget about Michael Jordan, Patrick Ewing, Scottie Pippen. God fucking damn. Like, imagine if you could take all those players, put them back to their age of how they were then, give them all their skill they had at that time, and put them against the team that we just saw play right now. I'm willing to bet that team's going to smoke our 2024 squad. You want to know why? Because that team's going to be all about playing defense. They might have some trouble guarding guys like Steph Curry, because Steph Curry can pull up from 50 feet away, and these guys aren't used to guarding that. But then you could also say the same thing about the guys these days, even though they did get a little bit used to the way the fouls are kind of called in the Olympics, because they don't call these like stupid cheap fouls that we see in the NBA. I just feel like the 1992 team was just so different in the way they played. You can't compare it to these days of the way they play. Now, one other thing I do want to say is this. When you look at the talent that these guys had, but I would say about 2004, 2008, 2012, there was a time where these guys were playing against, no offense, but bums. Like, the players and the talent from other countries, they were not the best. Like, they were okay, they were good, they just weren't the best. A lot of times it was players that were already in the NBA, but it was like players that were like more just mediocre player. Like, these players, they go to the NBA, they're okay, they score maybe 3-4 points a game, and then they go to the Olympics, and it's like, you're expecting this guy to be your star player? Not gonna happen. Whereas nowadays, look at the talent. Rudy Gobert and Victor Wembanyama. You just had a draft this past year. Anthony Sarr, I think is what's the guy's name that went to the Hawks to play with Trae Young. He is playing from overseas. If he could have been in the Olympics this year, he probably would have went over if he was eligible, I guess. Like, look at the way the NBA draft is kind of translated to where now it's not just all college players. Now it's like half the first round is players being taken from overseas. The league has been trying to tell you all, and I'm now kind of opening my ears and I'm listening. The league is telling you, and the league is telling us, the players overseas are good. That's why they're coming to the NBA. They're coming here for our money, no offense, but they are good. They are damn good players. They can play, and it ain't going to be no just easy, oh, we can easily win this. Gold medal for the Team USA. We can go ahead and guarantee that one, that when the Olympics people are looking at the USA, I guess, roster for like the entire Olympics and be like, okay, so this sport we got a gold medal locked up in, swimming maybe we got locked up in, gymnastics maybe, USA men's basketball they got locked up in. That ain't guaranteed now. The USA men's basketball team is not guaranteed gold every single year now. They're going to have to earn it. In 2028, when we go to Los Angeles, that's going to be a fight, because Serbia, I guarantee you, will be back with Jokic. France is going to be pissed off now with Wemby. By then, he's going to be in his prime. We'll see how he kind of grows with his body. I'm telling you, if that dude puts on about 25, 40 pounds of muscle, hello, scary monster. And all the other teams are still damn good as well. Like I said, Canada, Germany, like, these squads are good. Give them those other 4 years, and that's going to be scary for Team USA, because in 4 years, Steph's probably going to be retired. LeBron is 100% going to be retired. Who knows what KD does? A lot of these players we just saw play in this Olympics, they might be retired, and we're going to have to just hand it over to a new reign. And I'm telling you right now, I'm scared to death. Now, am I confident in our boys to win in 2028? I am. I'm just telling you now. I'm nervous. But other than that, I think I'm going to wrap up there. Hopefully, guys, they're going to enjoy today's video. If you did enjoy it, as always, make sure you're going to drop a like on today's video. Be very much appreciated if you do so. If you wanted to watch the entirety of today's video, thank you very much. And like I said, if you have a different opinion, do you agree or disagree with anything I said? Do you think the 92 team is the best team? The Dream Team is the best team to ever be playing in the Olympics? Do you think the 2014, the 2012 team, 2008 team, maybe a different team that I didn't name? What team do you think is the best team to ever play in the Olympics? Like I said, I think the 92 Dream Team is still going to be the best team ever. The 2024 team has a shot. You could debate it for maybe being the second best team. I just can't see it being number one. So whatever your opinion may be, like I said, leave a complete opinion down in the comment section down below. Be more welcome to talk about with you guys. If you're a fan of the content that I do poster and you want to go and hit that big red subscribe button, feel free to do so. And do not forget to hit that little notification bell to be notified second to post. But without further ado, this has been Dylan Talk Sports. Have a great day. Peace.